water plays a very, very important, it is an abiotic factor which plays a very great role in the plant body. So what is water potential? It is the difference between the free energy. So the living substance of a cell is called protoplasm. The water potential of a cell affected by solid potential and pressure potential. Potato osmoscope experiment is called physiological experiment. Hello everyone, welcome back to session 2 of this chapter called Transport in Plants. Myself, B. Shobharani from the Department of Biology, Vidyashram Pre-University College, the Temple of Excellence. Hope you remember in my last session, we started off this with a very important and a very common process that is happening in the plants that is called translocation. What do you mean by translocation or transport? Or it is also called as transport. The chapter name itself tells transport in plants. It is the translocation or conduction of water and dissolved mineral solutes through vascular tissues, namely xylem and phloem. As we all know, xylem is a water conducting tissue and phloem is a food conducting tissue. Now, let us understand. I think, hope you remember in the last session, we studied about a very important physiological method. So, what was the three methods of or means of transport? Means of transport. We studied about diffusion. Then second one, facilitated diffusion. Then third one is called as the active transport. So these are the means of transport in plants. What do you mean by diffusion? We have already studied in the last session. What is diffusion? Diffusion is a simple process where there is movement of molecules, may it be a gaseous or a liquid or a solid molecules from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. And there is no expenditure of energy in this process. No expenditure of energy. Then what is facilitated diffusion? It is the movement of molecules across the membrane through carrier proteins or aquaporins, and this is also where it is a passive process. It does not require expenditure of energy. No expenditure of energy. So this is also a passive process, and this is also a passive process, or we can use a word called passive transport. Passive transport. Passive transport. Then what is the third method of transport? It is called active transport. The very word itself will tell you. This is a process of transport which requires energy or requires expenditure of energy. Expenditure of energy in the form of ATP molecules. In the form of ATP molecules. So there are two types of processes. One is called the active transport. Second one is called what? The passive transport. So what is active transport? It requires expenditure of energy in the form of ATP molecules. What is passive transport? That which does not require the expenditure of energy in the form of ATP molecules is called as passive transport. So we have already studied about what is diffusion and what is facilitated diffusion, which takes place with the help of aquaporins or carrier proteins or carrier channels or ion channels. Now let us move on to the third method, that is called active transport. What is active transport then? As I already said, the movement of molecules against a concentration of gradient with the help of metabolic energy, that is ATP molecules, is called active transport. Or it is the movement of molecules from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration, that is to a region of higher concentration, because it is against a concentration gradient, it requires energy. So I repeat, what is active transport? The movement of molecules against the concentration gradient with the help of metabolic energy. So what is active transport? The movement of molecules against a concentration gradient with the help of metabolic energy, that is ATP, is called active transport. Or we can also define it as what? What is other definition for active transport? Movement of molecules from a region of lower concentration to a region of higher concentration, because it is against the concentration gradient, it requires energy. So here these two processes are from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. But active transport is a mechanism which is against the concentration gradient, that is from the lower concentration to the higher concentration with the expenditure of energy, is called as active transport. Now, active transport uses energy to pump molecules against a concentration gradient from low concentration to high concentration. So, this is called uphill transport. Diffusion is called downhill transport. This is called uphill transport. So, active transport uses energy to pump molecules against a concentration gradient from a low concentration to high concentration, that is called uphill transport. So this is all about the active transport. Hope you have understood the three very important means of transport. One is called diffusion, facilitated diffusion, and then the active transport. Active transport. So what is active transport? Active transport uses energy to pump molecules against a concentration gradient from low concentration to high concentration, that is called uphill transport. Now let us understand, I think all of us know how important water is for a plant body or for an animal body. So water plays a very, very important, it is an abiotic factor which plays a very great role in the plant body. Now let us understand what is plant-water relations. All of us know how important, as you know, water is a universal solvent. Many of the solids get dissolved in water, and it is one means of transport from one part of the plant body to the other part of the plant body. So now let us understand how important water is and what is the relation between plant and water in a plant body. So water is an essential for all physiological activities of the plant body. May it be a plant body or an animal body, for all the internal processes or physiological processes, water plays a very key role. Then it provides the medium. As we know, it is the medium in which most of the substances are dissolved. So water is a liquid medium. So as you know, water is a universal solvent. Most of the solutes get dissolved in water, and it is one medium for transport of the dissolved organic solutes from one region of the plant body to the other region. So that is another very important feature of water. Water's active transport uses energy to pump molecules against a concentration gradient from low concentration to high concentration with the expenditure of energy. So what is the plant-water relations? As we know, water is essential for all the physiological activities of the plant. So it provides the medium in which most of the solids get dissolved, and that is one advantage where water will act as a medium for carrying most of the important dissolved mineral solids from one part of the plant body to the other plant body. And as we know, the living substance of a cell is nothing but protoplasm, contains abundance of water, and which are found in that is in which different molecules are dissolved. And the distribution of water in a plant varies. For example, you take watermelon. I think all of us know about this familiar fruit called watermelon. The very word itself will tell you watermelon. So which will have 92% of water. Then most herbaceous plants, what do you mean by herbaceous plants? Soft stemmed plants. So most herbaceous plants have only 10 to 15% of its fresh weight as dry matter. Then, for example, you take a seed. Seed may appear dry, but still it has water. So when we sow a seed, it germinates. But seed requires water for germination. The seed will not sprout or germinate without water. So hope you have understood the three very important methods, that is diffusion, facilitated transport, and active transport. So as I said, the distribution of water varies from a plant to plant, varies within a plant. As we know, like watermelon has 92% of water contains, and most herbaceous or soft stemmed plants will have only 10 to 15% of its fresh weight as dry matter. Then a seed may appear dry but still has water, right? Then water potential. Now let us understand a very important term called water potential. It is the difference between the free energy. So what is water potential? It is the difference between the free energy. So the greater the concentration of water in a system, the greater is its kinetic energy or water potential. So what is water potential? And it is measured in terms of psi, like this. So what is water potential? It is the difference between the free energy. The greater the concentration of water in a system, the greater is its kinetic energy or water potential. So pure water has the highest water potential and it has zero, and it is the water potential is measured in terms of bar. It is measured in terms of bar and it is denoted by a symbol called psi. This is called as psi, and that is pure water has the highest water potential and it has 0 bar, and water always moves from higher potential to lower potential. So water potential is denoted by psi and is measured in terms of pascals. So psi is the symbol which is used. So water potential, it is a difference between free energy. The greater the concentration of water in a system, the greater is its kinetic energy or water potential. So pure water has the highest water potential and it has 0 bars. So water always moves from higher potential to lower potential, and water potential is denoted by a symbol called psi and it is measured in terms of bar. More the water potential, more will be the so bar it is also measured in minus symbol, minus values. So water always moves from higher water potential to lower water potential. So water always moves from higher water potential to lower water potential. Water potential, as I said, it is denoted by psi and measured in terms of pascals. The water potential of a cell affected by solid potential and pressure potential. So here, as I said, psi water potential, the water potential of a cell is affected by psi S and psi P. So this stands for solute potential and this stands for pressure potential. So the water potential of a cell affected by solute potential and pressure potential. So solute potential you can write it as psi S. So pressure potential you can write it as symbol as psi P. So water potential of pure water at standard temperature which is not under any pressure is taken to be as 0 by convention. So water always moves from higher water potential to lower water potential. Water potential, as I said, it is denoted by psi, symbol psi, and is measured in pascals. And the water potential of a cell is affected by solute potential, that is psi S, and pressure potential that is psi P. Water potential of pure water at standard temperature which is not under any pressure is taken to be as 0. So osmosis. Next, moving on to a next very important physiological process called osmosis. Osmosis is called as a special type of diffusion. So we know what is the significance of diffusion, the exchange of gases, even the transpiration also takes place through diffusion. That is movement of molecules from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. Osmosis is called as a special type of diffusion. What do you mean by special type of diffusion? That is the movement of molecules from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. So it is movement of molecules from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Permeable membrane is called as osmosis. So osmosis is of two types. One is called physical osmosis. Then second one is called physiological osmosis. if the process of osmosis takes place through a non-living membrane, it is called physical. And if the process of osmosis takes place through a living membrane, then it is called as physiological osmosis. Now let us understand. So the very important process, that is the absorption of water by the root hair cells, is mainly through osmosis, which is nothing but a special type of diffusion. So what is diffusion? It is the movement of molecules from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. What is osmosis? Osmosis is a special type of diffusion wherein the movement of molecules takes place from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Osmosis is of two types. What are they? One is called the physical method, the other one is called the physiological osmosis. Physical osmosis means the process of osmosis which takes place through a non-living membrane, a non-living semi-permeable membrane, it is called physical. And if the process of osmosis through a living semi-permeable membrane it takes place, it is called as physiological. So osmosis can be defined as diffusion of water across a semi-permeable membrane is known as osmosis. So osmosis occurs spontaneously in response to a driving force, right? The net direction and rate of osmosis depends on both the pressure gradient and the concentration gradient. So what is that which is very much important for the process of osmosis to take place? The net direction and the rate of osmosis depends on both the pressure gradient and the concentration gradient. So water will move from a region of higher chemical potential or higher concentration to its region of lower chemical potential until equilibrium is reached. So when will the process of osmosis stop? When both the concentrations are of the same. So osmosis is movement of molecules from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. Pure water always has higher concentration. More the solutes are dissolved, then the concentration will decrease. So the movement of water molecules from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration, or we can also use it in terms of potential. So water will move from its region of higher chemical potential to its region of lower chemical potential until equilibrium. Both the concentrations are one and the same. At equilibrium, the two chambers should have water potential. So here you can see solute molecule and water. So here you can see that is solid molecule and water. So here you can see the more number of water molecules. So they move from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower. So this is lower concentration. This is higher concentration. So as the molecules move from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. So what is osmosis? Osmosis can be defined as a diffusion of water across a semi-permeable membrane, or osmosis is a special type of diffusion where the movement of molecules take place from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Osmosis occurs spontaneously in response to a driving force. The net direction and rate of osmosis depends on both the pressure gradient and concentration gradient. Water will move from its region of higher chemical potential or concentration to its region of lower chemical potential until equilibrium is reached. So at equilibrium, the two chambers should have the same water potential. Now, an experiment to demonstrate osmosis. So there are two experiments to demonstrate osmosis. One is called the potato osmoscope experiment, which is called as a physiological experiment. Second one is called the thistle funnel experiment, which is called as the physical experiment. Why potato osmoscope is called as a physiological experiment? Here the living semi-permeable membrane is taken. So living semi-permeable membrane. So this thistle funnel experiment where non-living membrane, it might be an egg membrane or even a polythene sheet, right? Or that is a non-living membrane. So this is a non-living membrane. So here what you are seeing is thistle funnel experiment. funnel experiment. So there are two experiments to demonstrate the process of osmosis. One is called potato osmoscope experiment. The other one is called thistle funnel experiment. So potato osmoscope experiment is called physiological experiment. Why it is called physiological? There the living membrane, that is the that is the potato skin will act as a living membrane. Here in thistle funnel, egg membrane is taken. Here you can see the egg membrane. This is acting as a non-living membrane. So it is called physical experiment. Now let us see the first one and then study about the second one. So let us understand what is this potato osmoscope experiment. So moving on to the potato osmoscope. Potato osmoscope experiment. Here a large size potato is taken. Then the whole skin of the potato is peeled off. Then a boat-shaped incision is made. You can see in this diagram, a boat-shaped incision is made. Then a petri dish containing water is taken, and the potato with a scoop or with an incision is kept in the petri dish containing water. Then the sugar solution is taken inside the scoop. You can call this as a scoop. So this is sugar solution. This is sugar solution, and this is water, and this is the pin to mark, and this is the first level, or you can call it as the initial level. Initial level, and this is called as the final level. This is the sugar solution, and this is the water, and this is the trough containing water. So this is a trough containing water. So a large size potato is taken, the skin of the potato is peeled off, a boat-shaped incision is made, and sugar solution is taken inside the incision, and the initial level of the sugar solution inside the scoop or the incision of the potato is marked by taking a pin. Then the whole potato is kept in a beaker or a trough containing water. So much so that the level of the water is more than the level of the sugar solution. So keep the whole apparatus for some time. After some time, what do you observe here? So the level of the sugar solution has increased, but the level of water level has decreased. So what has happened to the water? As you know, sugar solution has lower concentration, and the water in the trough has pure concentration. So the movement of molecules from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration, thereby increasing the level of the sugar solution inside the boat-shaped incision. So inside the boat-shaped incision. Then so what does through a semi-permeable? So here the potato skin acts as a semi-permeable membrane. Acts as a semi-permeable membrane. So it acts as a semi-permeable membrane. So this whole experiment is called potato osmoscope, and it is called physiological experiment here. Why? Because the potato skin itself, this is the potato. Here the potato itself will act as a physiological membrane. So what is the experiment all about? A large size potato is taken, a boat-shaped incision is made, and sugar solution is taken inside the scoop to a level lesser than the water that is taken in the trough, and it is marked by a pin the initial level. Then the whole apparatus is kept for some time. Then we can see there is a rise in the level of the sugar solution and a decrease in the rise of the water level as the water molecules have moved from a region of higher concentration to a region of, because the water plus sugar it will have a lower concentration. It is solute. Pure water is always has higher concentration. So as the water molecules move, osmosis has taken place. What is osmosis? Movement of water molecules from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. So this is called physiological experiment. Now what is this? This is called thistle funnel experiment. So what has been done in thistle funnel experiment? So here, first what has been done is, this is the first experiment and this is the second. So an experimental setup called thistle funnel is taken, and one end of the mouth of the thistle funnel is covered by an egg membrane. And here, and sugar solution is taken inside the Thistle funnel. Sugar solution is taken inside the Thistle funnel. The whole apparatus is kept in water. So this is sucrose solution membrane. So what has happened here? Sucrose solution has been taken in the Thistle funnel, and this is water. And it is covered by an egg membrane. Keep the whole apparatus for some time. There you can see the rise in the level of the sugar solution. Why? Because there is movement of water molecules from a region of, so pure water always has, this is pure water, and this is sucrose solution. This is sucrose solution. This is the egg membrane, right? So here the process of osmosis has taken place. That is the movement of water molecules from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. But why it is called as a physical experiment? Because the egg membrane itself acts as a semi-permeable membrane. So these two are the experiments. So one is the potato osmoscope experiment, and this is called Thistle funnel experiment. Thistle funnel experiment. So what is an experiment to demonstrate osmosis? A Thistle funnel is filled with sucrose solution and kept inverted in a beaker containing water. Water will diffuse across the membrane. Water will diffuse across them to raise the level of the solution in the funnel. This is because of osmosis. So why there is a rise in the level of the sugar solution in the Thistle funnel? Osmosis has taken place. What is osmosis? Movement of water molecules from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Then pressure can be applied as shown to stop water movement in the funnel. That is, external pressure applied from the upper part of the funnel. Water diffuses into the funnel through the membrane. So this is about the next, plasmolysis. Process of shrinkage of protoplasm in a cell due to exoosmosis in hypertonic solution. So, for example, like you might have come across grapes, fresh grapes. Fresh grapes, if it is kept in sugar solution. For example, resins, what we call it as resin. These are resins, and this is sugar solution. So what is, so we have taken a fresh grape and kept it in a sugar solution, and after some time we see that the grape has shrunk. So what has happened to the water content? All the water content from the grapes has moved outside. That is from a region, plasmolysis. What is exoosmosis? Plasmolysis is called as exoosmosis. Deplasmolysis is called, so plasmolysis is called exoosmosis. Deplasmolysis is called endoosmosis. Keep the same grapes back in water. So again it will become like a fresh grape. So what is plasma? Shrinkage of protoplasm. Shrinkage of protoplasm is called plasmolysis. So process of shrinkage of protoplasm in a cell due to exoosmosis in hypertonic cell. So sugar solution is called as a hypertonic solution. So what are the two types of solution? Hypertonic means more solutes. Hypotonic means less solutes. Then isotonic, same concentration, right? Hope you have understood all the concepts what I have explained in this particular session of this chapter called Transport in Plants. So I'll be back with some more interesting concepts of this chapter called Transport in Plants. Till then, goodbye and thank you.